The Black Death, the single most destructive pandemic in human history. Killed by fleas. Specifically, fleas on rats, on a boat, that someone decided to let dock. It is the 14th century. Europe is about to have a very bad time, and almost nobody is going to handle it well. Let's talk about the plague. It starts, as many catastrophes do, somewhere far away. Central Asia, sometime around 1346. The bacterium Yersinia pestis, which sounds like a spell from a very grim wizard, has been quietly festering in rodent populations for decades. Then the Mongols laid siege to a trading port called Kaffa on the Black Sea. And because they were dying of plague inside their own camp, they did what any reasonable medieval army would do. They catapulted the corpses over the walls. Biological warfare, invented, with a trebuchet and a dead guy. The merchants inside Kaffa, understandably, decided to leave. They sailed to Sicily. They brought their cargo, their goods, their ambitions, and approximately 12 ships absolutely crawling with infected rats. The Sicilians took one look at the sailors, covered in black, oozing, fist-sized lumps, and told them to turn around immediately. They had already docked. Within 5 years, the plague had killed somewhere between 30% and 60% of Europe's entire population. The estimates are imprecise because, and this cannot be stressed enough, there was nobody left to count. Now, in a crisis of this magnitude, you'd hope the people in charge, the kings, the popes, the doctors, would step up. They did not step up. The doctors, operating on the finest medical knowledge of the 14th century, recommended a rotating list of cures that included sitting in a sewer to balance your humors, applying a live chicken to the buboes, and bishanin for the more adventurous patient, drinking your own urine. None of these worked. To be fair to the doctors, none of them had any idea what bacteria were. To be less fair to the doctors, some of them just left town. Pope Clement VI, to his credit, actually stayed in Avignon. He sat between two enormous roaring fires all summer because his physician told him the heat would purify the air. It did not purify the air. It did make him very sweaty. He survived anyway, probably because the fires kept the rats away, for reasons he never understood and would not have found satisfying. Across Europe, people tried to find someone to blame. Some blamed bad smells. Some blamed the alignment of Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. Some blamed Jewish communities, which led to horrific pogroms across Germany and France. One of the most monstrous responses to a disease in recorded history, and the targets were completely innocent. The actual culprit, a flea on a rat on a boat, remained entirely unbothered. By 1353, the worst of it was over. Europe was short roughly 25 million people. The survivors inherited land, wages went up because there weren't enough workers, and feudalism began its slow, centuries-long collapse. Historians call this the unintended economic restructuring of medieval society. The peasants who survived called it slightly better. The Black Death didn't have a lesson. It didn't have a moral. It had a flea. A very small, very stupid flea that boarded a ship it had no business being on and restructured Western civilization.